Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to January 25th edition of Daily Download. As you can tell, we have a special guest. Dana from Ritual Motion has joined so that we can let Ben take vacation. So Dana is going to go through and help me with the top stories of the day. Quick, this is powered by Rex Opportunities. We appreciate them letting us go over the articles from their email. If you want to get the full details, you can sign up and get Rex Opportunities Daily Download directly in your inbox. There's a link in the chat, or you can Google Rex Daily Download. If you have any thoughts or opinion, please let us know by using the hashtag Rex Daily Download. All right, Dana, you were super excited about some of these first topics, so I'm going to let you take away.
Thank you very much, Melanie. I just want to say these are big pants to be filling in with because I am no Boca Ben, that is for sure. But I will try my best to kind of go through there's some pretty exciting things happening today. And I think, one of the things that really caught my eye is what's going on with, Wonder Gaming. They've become the first Spotify Plus partner to mint NFTs on the Solana blockchain, right? So Solana blockchain is tied in addition with the whole crypto world and universe. And it's really interesting on two parts, Melanie. One, the fact that Spotify, which is the number one e-commerce, Shopify, thank you, Shopify. Shopify, which is the number one e-commerce platform out there, that they are boldly going into this whole domain of crypto and NFTs and tie it into as an offering for their potential partners. And Wonder Gaming, I think they're just one of the first folks out of the bat, first of many that we're going to see kind of dip their toes a little bit into the water. And it's quickly an add-on to that is also ESE signs an agreement with Skin Wallet to enter the metaverse with gaming and esports projects. So another tie-in and the connection there is, Skin Wallet is a place that you go in and they tie into blockchains, they tie into NFT. It gives folks an opportunity to purchase through their wallet. And you're just seeing a lot of these connections with gaming publishers, with traditional non-crypto platforms like Shopify, right, which up into this just was out of this realm, and they're emerging at like warp speed to come up with solutions.
It does seem like every day we have a new announcement to go over, either with the metaverse or crypto. And if anybody wants to learn more, Ritual Motion is hosting Creators on the Block. It will be in March. Wow, the date just left me, March 3rd, I believe.
Yes.
March 2nd. March 2nd. My bad. It's going to be March 2nd. There's a link to our Eventbrite. We are super excited to be hosting some people to come talk about gaming and investment and cryptocurrency and creator economy, all those big buzzwords. And we're just trying to, learn more about it and kind of educate people along the way with us.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, Melanie. We talk a lot about this internally because we are ourselves going down this path, Ritual Motion, into exploring all things blockchain and crypto. We brought on Anel Millhouse, who is our chief crypto officer, who really to help us navigate. But it's a topic where you can have one conversation with somebody on NFTs, and they get it, they're super supportive of it, they understand where it's going, and then you may have another conversation with someone and they're not fans. So it's going to be really interesting where this all goes. I think the metaverse is entwined with blockchain and with crypto. So as the metaverse grows, I think that's going to bring that along with it. Where crypto itself necessarily doesn't tie into the metaverse, or there are elements but crypto itself is a standalone thing. So it's really interesting how these three universes, the gaming, crypto, and metaverse, have all kind of collided. And it's going to be fun to see this next few years, where things all kind of end up panning out.
And you and Arnell are starting your own series about
Yeah.
crypto.
Yes, we are. Wednesday night at 8. It is the Gilded Age. Thank you to our CMO, Liz Murphy, for coming up with that awesome title.
It's
And
beautiful.
it's going to be all things crypto. So it's really from, if you don't have understanding about crypto and blockchain and you just really want to learn, all the way to really kind of advanced topics on economics. We're going to have already building a slew of really great speakers to come on, folks that are really deep into blockchain, professors that are already teaching about the metaverse. So we're really excited about that. And that's going to be a weekly show.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn because I need to learn more.
Yeah.
Kind of switching gears, I'm sure this will come up a lot in the metaverse as well, is antitrust and stealing and copywriting. So Riot Games is suing a developer over a League of Legends clone. So they have filed a lawsuit against a Vietnamese developer, Imba Technology, that it accused of copying League of Legends with its game I Am Hero AFK Tactical Team Fight. Which, if you are into Riot Games, you know they have team fight tactics. So it's interesting that they are, so closely named to Riot's. But at the other end, I'm like, the whole Riot League of Legends stories is how they were Dota. Like they took the idea from Dota and then cloned it and made it a little bit different. So I'm curious what people think about that, and like, does Riot have that right to complain since they basically did the same thing, or should we start, paying attention to like how close can a game be before you're allowed to sue?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point because I think this whole idea of IP, and you're right. Like, I mean, if it's a first-person shooter game, that you don't have rights to every single first-person shooter game, right? And storylines are storylines, and I think you find this not only in the gaming industry, but I mean, you find that in just traditional books, right? People have
Yeah.
said, "Hey, they've plagiarized and they've taken my storyline," or in movies, right? I mean, how many movies kind of have the same theme about aliens, coming to coming to the Earth and taking over?
So
So
true.
I think the challenge, though, Melanie, we're going to have with this is within the metaverse, right? And now that um, there's going to be this whole other, I would say, civilization of avatars that are
Yeah.
really us in the digital way, right? It's gonna, these publishers have a lot to think about. I would not want to be a gaming publisher right now with some of
Hmm.
these IP things that are coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I give them the fact like it is very similar to the name, and it says that the champions are designed very close to League of Legends champions. So maybe if they just make that little bit of tweak, kind of like the off-brand sodas, like, well, it looks close, but not quite
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
same. Um, so maybe there'll be something worked out where they can keep their game, but just not have it exact.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll
It's a
see.
good point.
I believe the other story was Unity acquires Ziva Dynamics. Danny, you want to kind of go into that one?
Yeah. So I got a little excited about this, and I totally get, so Unity, right? The number one engine for 3D modeling, right? It's just out there. It's dead ginormous, right? And Zenda Dynamics has this crazy ability to realization of characters. Um, and their characters have been in some of the CGI work they've done as Game of Thrones, Godzilla movies. And not only within games, so it makes a lot of sense. What's going to be interesting is now, I think the level of realism that we're going to be getting, and I would say within, I'm going to be really bullish here, within the next 5 years, it's going to be pretty incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to date myself, and I remember I was so excited when Second Life came out, right? And those avatars were awful. I mean, they, they didn't look. Although I did like the fact that I could fly, which I thought was pretty cool. But the avatars weren't there, and we've even seen evolution. Just look at Fortnite from when it began, and how it's
Yeah.
all of these games, the evolution, and how they're making these. subtle differences and with the technology and how it's all tying in. And I just really believe with this thing with Unity, which was really brilliant. Um, it's going to bring the opportunity for developers, and especially indie folks who are going to be doing indie games, right? That's a whole other thing now that with the metaverse opening up, I think that's a big opportunity for a lot of indie game publishers. But now they have this technology that normally was only like for the chosen few or the ones with really big pockets, right?
Yeah.
Now they're going to have create. So it's going to be really interesting, Melanie, and
Yeah.
excited to see where it's all going to go.
Yeah. We couldn't keep you from another metaverse story, so we had to throw that one in there too.
Thank you. Thank
Not metaverse related, but I'm sure we could make it this way. Is Cocameleon is getting into podcasts. So this is Cocameleon is storming Spotify and launching its first ever podcast venture. There's part of an exclusive multi-year deal with the parent company Moonbug, which has recently acquired Candle Media. So kind of looking into how podcasts are growing, so more audio side versus the video. But maybe we'll see, bringing it back to metaverse, maybe we'll see people having podcasts on the metaverse and then pushing it to Spotify. I know here at Ritual Motion, we're working on, you can have these interactive conversations and then it goes to podcasts. So I could see that eventually being a thing.
Yeah, so here's what I think about. We chat a lot about this in turn. You're the head of the guild, and this is one of the things that we're saying is like, so podcasts. It's like, come on, man. 1984 called, and they want their like way to communicate back, right? I get it. I know why there's such a big thing because people are into multitasking and it's super
Yep.
easy to just be in your car or doing whatever you're doing and you like listen to a podcast. It's interesting content. So
Mhm.
I just challenge all the podcasters out there is come to the guild first,
Yeah.
right? If you're gonna have it, like have a video. We do video, audio, and interactivity all in one. So you could make your podcast, which is an audio play that there's no way to get any feedback. You're not collaborating really with your audience. Oh, and by the way, you can't really get tipped out. And if you're on Spotify, it takes a lot for you to be able to kind of get a revenue share.
Yep.
Or you can just come on the guild from day one. You can make money. You can collaborate with your audience. You have a video asset and you have an audio asset, which then, by the way, you could download and use for your podcast.
Yep.
Is it Level Up, right? Crystal Mills, her
Power level.
Power Level,
Yeah.
perfect example. She starts off first on the guild, has a
Hmm.
great session once a week, which everyone should tune in Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. Shameless plug for Crystal. But then she can get those assets, those audio assets, and then make her podcast, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, once again, you can do it old school ways, use a flip phone, or you could be disruptive and ahead of the time and, come on the guild.
Yeah. Well, not to date us, but flip phones are becoming a thing again. So they may actually be recording it on their flip phone.
They could be. That is true. I did look at one and I was like, wow, this is pretty neat. And I'm like, well, I'm a dinosaur. So
I know. I felt the same way. Okay, and this story is dedicated to Ben because he wanted to make sure that we covered it. Is ESL Gaming and Face It merge? So, companies bought by Saudi-backed group for 1.5 billion, and so he'll go into this probably when he's back. But we want to know everybody's thoughts because this is kind of spicy because people have called out the human rights side of things. People have called out how we're leaving out whole groups of people, and then there's a lot of money involved, and how we can kind of hurt people's feelings by like getting involved. So I'm just curious, you know what are people's takes on it. So before I go into any detail, Ben had this great spiel about it. He'll be on next week to talk about it, but this is my challenge out to people is like, what's your take, what's your thought about ESL Gaming and Face It merging and having to deal with Saudi Arabia and all of the things that go with it.
yeah, it is a very hot, spicy topic that I'm sure, and I think it's just the beginning. I think we're going to
Yeah.
see some acquisitions from other countries and even some potential companies that may or may not have some history of bad acting,
Yeah.
and how does that play in? It is fascinating as a 1 point, how many billion? 1.5
1.5 billion.
$5 billion acquisition to purchase a company that's going to be doing physical events. So
Mhm.
that in itself is interesting, especially after the past 2 years. We all hope that we're way behind that now and can move forward. But it's an interesting just because are things going to be able to go fully back to that, or are we one variant away from people being shut down for 6 months? And there you have it, right? When
Yeah.
so, yeah, I agree. It will be. We leave all the spiciness for Boca Ben because he's a spicy guy. He's a spicy guy.
Yeah, he had a good hot take on it, so I'm
Yep.
excited for him to share that when he's back.
Yep.
Um, well, thank you, Dana, for joining us. Everyone else, this has been the Daily Download with special guest Dana. Ben will be back next week. We'll probably do an earlier session just because Wednesdays are a little bit hectic. So I'll be on a little early to go over the news, and we hope that you have a great day
Thank you, everybody.
doing Ben's exit there.
See you soon.